All right, we are here, fellas. It is the fantasy football playoffs. Let's get a round of applause here for the regular season. I'm sure you got some playoff stuff to get into. I got some playoff stuff to get into. My home league, I tweeted it out earlier today. I have to start Zamir White tonight, which is not ideal because I have Josh Jacobs and he's out, and none of my other like bench options currently starters right now. Like I have Charbonnet, Singletary, Gainwell, and like guys that are like handcuffs basically. So, it's great when you have these stashes going into the fantasy playoffs. Thankfully, I did stash my own handcuff with Zamir White.
Smart.
But yeah, not a great situation for me. Hopefully, I honestly just give me like a 10 to 15 point game, 60 yards and a touchdown or something like that, and I'll be right as rain.
So I also have another disgusting one. I have to start Josh Palmer tonight, so that's not fun. But
Cool.
his yardage prop was there. I think he could be a top 45-ish level wide receiver. Obviously, it's not fun playing with Easton Stick, though. I'm not gonna lie, given the implied
Yeah,
points.
dude,
But
trusting Josh Palmer with Easton Stick as his quarterback
yeah,
in the fantasy playoffs, like that
it's
is
gross.
something that I like have to
It's
plug
gross.
my nose at for sure.
Fair. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Also, worth noting, you mentioned the Zamir White call. I had to make that decision in the listener league. So you're going Zamir White. I actually have Amir Abdullah in that league. I had Zamir White early in the week. Maybe I overthought it, but I don't know. At least if both suck, at least one of them's going to look good while sucking. I don't know.
It's not
It's
gonna be a
gross
great
either way.
situation. I did advance 2 Zamir White teams actually
Really, eh?
into the Best Ball Mania for quarterfinals here. Quarterfinals, yeah. And one of them is actually, remember the team that I was like in the running for like a high, finish
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever. That team here, I'll actually just show you real quick. We will get to some questions here in a second.
yeah,
I just
yeah,
want to show you guys this really fast.
yeah. And I'll read
So this
mine.
is a Justin Herbert team, which kind of sucks. But Jared Goff and Derek Carr is kind of like a weirdo, unique quarterback core, I guess. But this team does have Zamir White and the double handcuff A-Chain and Mostert here. So it's a pretty loaded running back core. It'd be hard to get Zamir White into my lineup, but a 17-10 Zamir White that's finally live because Jacobs is hurt. Kind of interesting. And then this team, I think, is a little bit, or where is it? Yeah, this one's a little bit of a similar build because you got A-Chain and Dylan on this one as well. This is actually handcuffed myself, Josh Jacobs, Zamir White. So this one could be really unique. If Zamir White has like a 20-point game this week and then Jacobs is back next week, then those Zamir teams are probably going to die. But because I have Jacobs also, I kind of gal-brained this, I guess. But yeah, this one's an interesting team. It's got a couple dead guys on it with Tank Dell there. And Greg Dulcich, who looks like he's going to be out this week, but it is a Mahomes team, and Mahomes was actually relatively hard to advance Mahomes Kelsey stacks. So
Yeah, so let me see. Do I have any Kelsey? I have so one Kelsey that advanced. How much Mahomes? One Mahomes that advanced. So I got one of those stacks available. And you mentioned the Zamir White, Josh Jacobs. I advanced 8.9% Jacobs, and I also have a Zamir White team. I wouldn't be shocked if I had them on the same team because I think I actually galbrained that into the offseason. I'm like, I don't mind taking Zamir White late if I have Jacobs, knowing that if he does miss a game, I can potentially sneak into Jacobs for the fantasy playoffs. So
yeah, this tonight is a big one for me because I have of my 39 teams, I advanced 7 Devontae Adams shares and I advanced 6 Jacoby Myers and 5 Michael Mayer. So I'm gonna need a big performance from the Raiders here and then also those Zamir teams. But I have no Josh Palmer advanced. I have 2 shares of Quentin Johnston advanced. I advanced 1 Keenan Allen who's going to be out in this game, and I have no Eckler too. So that'll be interesting. I need like the Raiders to really put up some points here. But anyways, let's get into some of these questions because I'm sure people want to know some answers here.
Well, last thing I'll say is I somehow advanced 14.3% Quentin Johnson. I don't know how.
That's 14.3%. You drafted a lot of QJ though. You were a big QJ guy.
My number one though by far, like the Cowboys, Kittle, like they're like 37%, 37%, 34%, 34% for Lamb, Gallup, Prescott, and Kittle. But the guy that I actually have leading at 42.9% is Travis Etienne. So that's pretty fun there.
Yeah, who's your leading like not chalk guy? Because Etienne's pretty chalk.
Like James Conner.
Yeah, 20%. James Conner's a pretty good one. I got
20%.
I have 36% Breece Hall, and I was like, oh, Breece was probably like a high advance rate guy. Like, nah, dude, he was like 23rd at running back in advance rate. So Breece
20%
Hall,
Ridley.
30, huh?
20% Ridley.
Yeah, I also have a decent amount of Calvin as well. I think my favorite one is that I got 21% Chase Brown, who is only on 4,000 teams, because he was only drafted like 40,000 times,
How
in the
much?
whole 650,000 person tournament.
You said 21%?
I have 21% Chase Brown.
I got 11.4%. I thought that was pretty decent. So
Yeah,
good
I
on you
also
there.
randomly have 28% Damian Harris, who's completely dead as well. But anyways, okay, let's get to some questions.
Yeah.
John says full PPR pick 3. Zamir White, I'm assuming is Z. OBJ, Keaton Mitchell, Najee Harris, Jake Ferguson, Gabriel Davis. So,
I think I'm going OBJ, Ferg, and
yeah,
Gabe
OBJ
Davis.
might be the best option here, which is pretty wild.
OBJ,
The
Ferg,
Ravens
Gabe
against,
Davis for
the
me.
Jags are pretty easy against wide receivers. So they're a good matchup there. I think I like Ferguson probably as the
Love
second
him.
best option there. And then it'd be
Love it.
between Zamir White and Gabe Davis. If you're like an underdog, it is full PPR. I think Gabe Davis is a good option this week. Like I know the Cowboys defense is pretty strong, but
High over under.
they can have some lapses in coverage and catch a long bomb touchdown at home. Obviously, we're going to be at the game. Weather's supposed to be good too. It's supposed to be like 50 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever. So I think I would go Gabe, Ferg, and OBJ. You're kind of leaning into the implied point totals there as well.
Yeah. No, real quick, I agree with how you ordered that as well, to be honest. Ferguson, Gabe Davis, and Odell Beckham Jr. Real quickly on Gabe, the reason why I'm a little bit hesitant of him, of course, given the game environment, high implied total for the Bills, like you're starting him anyways, but the Cowboys run man coverage the majority of the time, compared to other teams. And with Gabe Davis, he's typically the guy that'll beat zone deep. So that's what I'm a little bit worried about. He's not quite the separator. So I think if anything, it's probably going to be a Diggs game. But at the same time, given the implied total, they're inside the 10-yard line. He catches a touchdown. Like that'll count the same as if he just toast someone over the top.
Yeah, and I think I want to put my eggs into the Josh Allen basket in the fantasy playoffs rather than what are the Raiders implied for like 18 points tonight against the Chargers. Like it's just not a great situation. Plus, like I don't know the split. Like I'm starting Zamir White, but like if Amir Abdullah had 65% of the snaps tonight, like I wouldn't be totally shocked either. Yeah, like I would hope that Zamir White gets the primary carries. Ian Rappaport basically said that he's going to, but I'm still concerned that Abdullah would probably be heavily involved. But the Raiders are favored. They're at home. I'm thinking like, it's Easton stick. Like I literally have an Easton hockey stick in my fucking garage right now. Like that's who's starting for the Chargers right now. And we got a situation where Zamir White should be able to command like 15, 20 carries tonight.
For sure. By the way, I appreciate the super from Michael. He says, get bonus for combined running receiving yards over 100, bonus 5 points. So if they get over 100 yards from scrimmage, basically you get 5 points. Non-PPR, Eckler tonight or Pittman or St. Brown in the flex. I got to go with Amon or St. Brown here. Like Amon or St. Brown, if you get yardage bonuses for over 100 yards, I think he's pretty much a lock to go over that this week, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I'm probably on the same page as you. By the way, if anybody hasn't noticed yet, Danny has his neon sign in the background, the Underdog Fantasy neon. Did you have to plug that in? Is it just like a regular, plug into the outlet?
Yeah, look at this. So it comes with the remote here. So you can
oh shit, really?
Yeah, so you can just switch the modes. So if I just want to say, hey, listen, I want you to go crazy. Wait, it's got a fucking here.
We're hoping for a live demo here, Danny. Come on now. Oh, what the fuck? That's crazy. Hopefully nobody has epilepsy in our audience.
Sorry, right now. Probably a warning there, eh?
That's wild, though. That's awesome. Yeah, I got to get mine. Mine's literally beside me right now. I just got to get it set up somehow. And I don't exactly know how I'm going to set it up, but there is, I don't know if anybody notices in my videos when they're solo, you can see that I do have outlets like right there. So you should be able to, I'll probably just set up the sign, right above the ground kind of thing. Anyways, definitely cool of Underdog to send us these. I'm quite excited.
Oh, dude, so excited. Next thing I need though is that Hawaiian shirt, baby. I need that thing. You know how much I rock those bad boys, eh?
Yeah.
But we got another super here from Just One. Appreciate that. $4.99. Does he have a comment here? Let me take a look. Just One.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now.
Superflex, Minshew, Zach Wilson, Jalen Warren, Romeo Dubs, or Elijah Moore. I got to go with Gardner Minshew here.
Yeah, definitely Minshew. That game, sneakily a triple threat. Pretty high over under 43 points. Sharps are on the over right now, and it's one of the fastest paced games on the slate. So Minshew sneakily a decent play this week. Although I don't think Zach Wilson is horrible in Superflex this week. I think it's kind of an outrageous take, but I actually don't think he's horrible. That was definitely the best game he's played in his entire career last week.
For sure. All right, let's rip these off like a band-aid. We got to help you guys out. So
Yeah, and
we got to get
if
through
you
as many
guys
as possible.
could, just because we do have a game tonight, if you have a question pertaining to tonight's game, definitely ask it. But if you don't, maybe save it for Sunday morning's live stream, just because I want to make sure that anybody that has a question pertaining to tonight's game.
Well, Saturday's games too, obviously.
Yeah, Saturday's games as well. We might go live Saturday morning as well before the games actually kick off. Mo says, "What's up, guys? My two running backs are Mixon, Javonte Williams, I'm assuming, and my flex is Ty Chandler. What do you think? Bench Nico Collins, doubt he plays. Deontay Johnson also dealing with injury right now, and then Josh Downs as well. I think Ty Chandler is probably your best option. Madison's been ruled out already, so
yeah, no, I agree. Where do you have Chandler ranked? Because that was a person I was struggling where to put in the rankings.
I have Ty Chandler right now. He is at RB25 for me, just behind the likes of Chuba Hubbard, Ezekiel Elliott, James Cook, James Conner type of guys.
Yeah, so he for me. So you have Walker behind him. Do you have Ford behind him?
I have Walker at 20, so Walker is ahead of him.
Okay,
I have Ford behind him.
Aaron Jones probably behind him then as well because he has the Q tag.
Yeah. I mean, fair. Aaron Jones, I haven't really adjusted in my rankings yet because I don't know if he's going to play. But fair. Knowing that Dylan might not play, I think they might push to see if Jones is going to play. Of course, the week I play Aaron Jones in my home league too. Like, of course, he's got to come back. Watch him have his best game of the year. Because I hope so. You know the funny thing about Aaron Jones? The only good game he's had all season came against me, first game of the season.
Well, you want to hear? So I played against Justin Jefferson in week 3. Sucks that he went out earlier in that game, but obviously he got hurt after that game in week 3, missed so much time, and then his return date was against me again. I got lucky that he didn't play in that game because he got hurt in like the first series. But like I was saying all week, I'm like, of course Jefferson just has to come back the week I need to win to make the playoffs. But that's kind of a similar story there. Real quick on Ty Chandler, you mentioned you have him at 25. I have him at 27, just behind guys like James Conner, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker, Jerome Ford, Chuba Hubbard at 22, DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams. I also have Ezekiel Elliott inside my top 20.
Yeah, I have Zeke just outside my top 20. He's definitely a good play this week. David says half PPR running back need 3 Rashad White, Kamara, Eckler, or Gibbs.
You're sitting Eckler, but oh my God, like that's a crazy proposition here. You're sitting Eckler,
tough, man, because I think the thing with Eckler is like he has Easton Stick as his quarterback, but he also has Easton Stick as his quarterback. Like he might catch 9 passes tonight.
He could, but I mean, at the same time, I have Rashad White as my RB5, Alvin Kamara as my RB6, and Jahmyr Gibbs as my RB8 on the week. So
yeah,
that's easy for me.
So I have Eckler and Gibbs back to back, and I think that's the conversation point. Rashad White is my RB3 on the week, and Alvin Kamara is my RB5 on the week. So I actually think those two guys are the best options that you have in half PPR. Like it's tough, man. I think Eckler has a chance at a touchdown, probably more so than Gibbs. Like I think I would actually lean Eckler.
Oh, we got to make that bet then.
I think all of these guys, they're literally all top 8 running
wait,
backs.
You said Eckler might have a higher chance at a touchdown?
Yeah, because he's the only touchdown scoring back on his team versus Gibbs has Montgomery to compete with for those touches.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, given the implied points, I think it's more likely that Gibbs scores.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, I would do that half PPR.
Yeah, we can do it half.
Right,
Jonathan says 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Henry, Gibbs, Zeke, Pittman, and Nico.
Zeke or Gibbs is your running back.
Yeah, Gibbs is your running back for sure.
Zeke
Collins probably isn't going to play. Pittman is 100% your wide receiver. And then it's probably Henry.
Yeah. I didn't see him. I would go Henry, Gibbs, and Pittman.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zeke is good, though, but I mean.
Yeah, top of the order here. We got Goddard or Kincaid. I'm going Kincaid. Man. People are worried about Dawson Knox for some reason. Like Kincaid didn't have 87% of the routes and 19% of the targets last week. Like what the hell are we concerned with Knox for?
Not to mention, I mean, this is going to be the type of game where the Bills are going to need to throw the football across the yard. Obviously, both teams implied for a ton of points, 50.5 over under. Actually, I think 50.5 might be a conservative over under. The Sharps are hammering it at an 85% over rate. I think that might close at closer to 52.5, 53 points, to be honest. And honestly, even at 52.5, 53, like I think this can be a 31-28, 34-31 type of game, Buffalo versus Dallas.
God, I hope so, because we're obviously going to be there. So we want to see a lot of points. And I also have so many Bills and Cowboys stacks in best ball finals, which, I mean, literally everybody does. But at the same time, like, I mean, I got them. So they better run hot and that kind of thing. But yeah, Kincaid, if anybody's worried about the injury, like he returned to practice today. I saw a report that said he's going to play. Like, I'm not really concerned about Kincaid. So yeah, Kincaid would be my best option there. And then Browns or Saints defense. Browns defense going up against, who are they playing this week? I think they're my like number 1 or 2 defense.
Um,
They're playing the Bears. So, I mean,
yeah,
Justin
kinda gotta go
Fields,
with him.
he can put up some points, but he's also turnover prone, and it's at home for Cleveland. So I'm probably going to take the Browns defense over the Saints, even though I like the Saints. They're my 5th highest rated defense, but DeVito has kind of shown to be a guy who can actually put up points.
Dude,
So
I mean, kudos. The fact that he is at this point in his career and he already has more touchdowns scored than Kenny Pickett is pretty remarkable.
that's crazy.
Full PPR rank him: Eckler, Brees Hall, Zeke, Nico Collins. I would probably, I mean, Nico Collins.
I have him in that order, the way that you have them
order.
listed. Eckler, Brees Hall, Zeke, and Nico Collins, because Collins is probably not 100% healthy, and maybe Stroud won't play either. So that's why he would be last.
For sure. By the way, real quick, shout out Patrick. I appreciate the super chat. This one of my buddies back home. He says full PPR flex Addison, Hollywood, or Jerick McKinnon. Full PPR.
I want Hollywood there. That's not even close.
Really, Hollywood over Addison for you?
Hollywood over Addison for sure. Yeah. I mean, Nick Mullins starting a quarterback. Like, I'm not overly excited about Jordan Addison rest of the season, really.
Browns
like,
also
he's been solid this year, but
Browns also banged up coming in.
Huh?
Browns also banged up coming in.
Yeah. I mean, he had a week to get healthier.
Fair. I like Addison personally. For the record, like, they're relatively close. It's 32
in
versus
full PPR. I don't think
me.
it's deniable though that Hollywood's got the better target share.
Yeah,
I mean, it hasn't been 100% great with Kyler yet, but I think this might be the week. The 49ers are probably going to get up early. They're implied for like 30 points. I think the Cardinals will have to throw quite a bit in this game, and I could see 12 or 13 targets going Marquise Brown's way.
Well, I mean, to play devil's advocate, I actually do prefer the outlook for Jordan Addison with Nick Mullins as opposed to Josh Dobbs, given the rushing tendencies, to be honest. Yeah. So that's a factor, not to mention
Jefferson's going to play, according to all of these reports, too.
Well, that's what I was going to point out. It's like, yeah, Jefferson's going to play, but at the same time, like, how fully healthy is he? Obviously, with that chest injury, had to go to the hospital. He's playing because they're in the playoff hunt. I'm not necessarily sure how healthy he is. So with that being said, I mean, I just want to trust the better player here, and Jordan Addison to me is the better player. So I actually like Jordan Addison here.
Okay, I also think run that one up. I think it's debatable who's the better player, though. As much as I love Addison, I think Hollywood's a great player.
Oh, yeah, no, they're both relatively same, but I like Jordan Addison. For the record, I'm not even just ruling out Jerick McKinnon here because I also think he's a very.
I am 100% ruling out Jerick McKinnon here.
He would be my third option here, but I don't think he's far off. Personally.
I do. I think it's really, a split backfield. I don't really care that much for Jerick McKinnon. Maybe he'll probably score 60 points now this week. Rolando says Zamir White since no Jacobs, or wait to see if Aaron Jones plays.
Wait on Aaron Jones.
I think you're probably good to wait on Aaron Jones by the looks of it. I think it sounds like he's going to end up playing. Let me actually take a look at his most recent reports here. So he was limited in practice on Wednesday. Sounded close to suiting up last week. I think you're probably good to wait on Aaron Jones. Like, make sure you have like some kind of like fallback option.
Patrick Taylor. Is Patrick Taylor available?
Like anything. Honestly, anything. Like Zamir White's not the type of guy that I'm like, oh, I gotta get him in my lineup. Like, I'd rather play even like a 90% healthy Aaron Jones.
Do you just drop Zamir White for Patrick Taylor to make sure, even if Aaron Jones doesn't play? Like, I would prefer Patrick Taylor probably to Zamir White.
I'm sure Rolando has like a guy on his bench that's like a wide receiver 4 or something that he could play in his flex over there.
Well, I'm assuming this is RB
spot, then maybe not. I don't know.
That's kind of what I'm assuming. If that's the case, if it's for the RB2 slot, I don't mind just dropping Zamir White for Patrick Taylor, assuring yourself that you get a starting running back in. Worst case scenario, if Aaron Jones does get ruled out, like, I trust the Green Bay offense a lot more than I do the Raiders one. And I don't think Patrick Taylor is an objectively worse player than Zamir White.
Yeah. It's a tough matchup this week, though. Do you really want Patrick Taylor against the Bucs run defense?
No, but at the same time, it's like at least they're going to be implied for some points. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for me, I would personally just go with Aaron Jones. Depending on what your pivot options are there. Juan says, yo, what's up, boys? How's y'all's day going? Not bad. Very neon-y, as you can see. Juan says, Cup, Pittman, Nakua, White need one at wide receiver and one at flex. This is a brutal decision.
Cup and Rashad.
Oh my God. Okay, we got to start splitting pairs with these.
You're not sitting Cup against Washington. I'm sorry, that's just not happening.
No, you're definitely not. I don't think it's outrageous to say you'd start both of the Rams wide receivers here, to be honest.
I also can't sit Rashad White given the usage.
I can't sit Pittman either, dude. Like, these guys are
any of them, man.
Plays.
Yeah, like, for the record, you're
3 wide receiver 1s and a top 3 running back in this question. So Cup and White is my answer, but I have Pittman at 7 and Nakua at 11.
Yeah, I have Pittman at 7, Nakua at 11. Where do you have Cup? 6?
I have Cup at 5.
So you have him ahead of Diggs.
I do.
Amon-Ra, AJ, Tyreek, CD? Or do you have
CD,
Tyreek at 1?
Amon-Ra, Tyreek, and AJ is how I have the top 4.
Like starting at CD, right?
Yeah, I
Or
have
is he at
Lamb at
4?
1.
Okay, I thought you said you had 4 for a second. I was
No,
like,
I
oh,
have him
wow.
at 1.
Fair enough.
Casey says 1 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, A-Chain, Mostert, Adams, Ridley, Higgins, Lockett, also likely or Hill at the tight end. Okay, so running back spot, given A-Chain's injury
Mostert.
right now, it's got to be Mostert, I would imagine. 2 wide receivers are going to be Adams and Ridley, despite the tough matchup. I think he's your best other option there. And then your flex, I mean, you get a healthy A-Chain, he's definitely your flex. But if he's limited, if he's out, you're probably going, I don't know, you going Higgins over Lockett, or you going Lockett over Higgins?
Like we're talking Higgins is
I would
my
go
wide
Higgins
receiver.
personally. I think he's the better player. I think he's got the more
Yeah.
explosive upside and the higher touchdown chance.
I have Higgins at 30, and I have Lockett at 33. Now, for what it's worth, if you have Lockett, it was very encouraging.
That's actually exactly where I have them also.
Really?
Yeah, I have them 30 and 33.
Do you have them sandwiched by Deontay and Jordan Addison?
No, I have Marquise Brown at 31 because we already talked about this in the other question.
That's funny. Yeah. Where do we have?
But yeah, Likely and Hill at tight end. I would. I think I would go Taysom Hill. Give me the upside play with Taysom Hill.
Taysom. Where is Taysom?
PPR though. I mean, I don't know. What do you have a lenience there? Likely or Hill?
I would go Likely, but Taysom Hill wasn't actually adjusted my ranking, so I have Likely at 10, Taysom at 11. So I really don't have too much of a lenience, to be honest.
Yeah, they're both pretty good options, I would say. Like Taysom's coming off of an injury. Maybe that leans you towards Likely. It is PPR. He's going to get more targets. I would say maybe go with Likely if you go for the safer play.
For sure. Oh, my bad. Apologies. I actually skipped through. Cody, appreciate the super. He says, boys, I got a 37-point lead, 2-week playoff game. I got Stafford instead of Goff. Brees, Bijan, Amon-Ra, Chase, Javonte, Olave. Should I play Vegas D versus Jets D? My bench is Najee, Deontay, Addison, Hubbard, and Aaron
You should
Jones.
play Vegas D. They're the one. They're at home, and
backup quarterback.
They don't play the Dolphins. Like the Dolphins scare me. I don't care how good the Jets defense is.
Yeah. Also worth noting, I also like the Stafford call a lot. I love Stafford this week.
I have Stafford. When I did my rest of season streamer rankings earlier today, I had Stafford as quarterback 11, and I don't think it's outrageous to say you would start him over Tua the rest of the season.
Where do you think I have him ranked this week?
I'll tell you where I have him ranked, and we'll see who's higher. I have Matthew Stafford at 7.
Got you by a spot.
Yeah, you have him over Mahomes then?
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy that this is where we're at with Mahomes. But yeah, that's
top 5. Top 5: Purdy, Jackson, Dak, Allen, Hurts. Some order.
Yeah, it's wild because Stafford only has 3 games of over 20 PPR points this entire season. They just so happen to be his last 3 games.
Yeah, no, he's on fire right now. By the way, we'll quickly get back to the supers. Just have to point this out because I think I've seen this comment exactly how many times since we started the channel?
Yeah, I've gotten the Edward Norton comps. Yeah. I'm like, if I was a prospect, that's definitely the comps for sure.
Yeah. How do we feel about Adams versus Olave and Devontae Smith? Adams, I would have it in order: Adams, Smith, Olave.
Yeah, I would go Adams, Smith, Olave as well. But I don't know, man. Olave, Smith,
so good. Yeah, no, they're back to back for me. But man, like the game environment, high over under at Seattle. They basically know they need to win this game in order to have a good shot at the 1 seed. Like I think the Eagles have a really good chance of bouncing back this week. I think it's also going to be a high scoring game either way, like a 30-27 type of deal. Oh, and your camera died this time. Appreciate that. Patrick says, forgot to mention, I do have Pacheco, but he's listed doubtful. Yeah, I don't think Pacheco's going to play. He hasn't practiced this week, obviously dealing with that shoulder injury. So assuming Pacheco doesn't go, yeah, no, that's where I would lean there, Patrick. But yeah, no, if Pacheco, they expect him to come back, then just hit me up. You have my number. Lost Jacobs plus Keenan for tonight, Zamir or Drake London. I'm going with Drake London very easily there, Brady, to be honest. I just don't trust Zamir White at all. PPR flex, Zamir White, Tyler Lockett, Amari Cooper, or London. I believe I have Drake London the highest. Let me take a look. Yeah, Drake London's my wide receiver 25, Amari Cooper 27, Tyler Lockett is my wide receiver 33, and then Zamir White I have a little bit lower at running back. Warren or Zamir White in a standard league. Closer because it's a standard, but I'm just going to go with the talent and the implied points that the Steelers have there. So I'm going to go with Gonna go with Jalen Warren. I mean, I guess the implied points aren't really that much of an advantage for him, but I just think Jalen Warren's a better player. So yeah, going up against Indy. Easton Stick or Bryce Young, then flex full 3 full PPR. Javonte, Brees, Garrett Wilson, and Njoku likely. Pitt starting Laporta over the other tight ends. Okay, I dig that. I'll save the quarterback question until Corey gets back because this is very, very gross. In terms of flex 3 full PPR, Javonte, Brees, Garrett. Garrett's going to be entering my lineup. Brees is going to be entering my lineup. And then do you have a lenience here? I said Brees and Garrett for the first 2. Who would be your third flex here?
Yeah, I would probably go Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I'd probably go Javonte. Also, you have a lenience on Easton versus Young.
Bryce.
Yeah, you go Bryce. They're both fucking gross. Jesus,
they're both gross, but you go with the guy that was first pick in the draft for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just.
Also, I saw some CJ Stroud propaganda on the timeline today. I don't know if you saw it. You probably did because Dak was the highest rated quarterback in it. The accuracy ratings came out for PFF's charting or whatever, and Bryce Young was about 5 or 6% higher accuracy rating wise than CJ Stroud.
Jesus, actually?
Yeah, and the best, by the way, the system quarterback that has all the help in the world, best deep ball passer in the league this year. Yeah. Brock Purdy.
Fair enough. I don't think you guys saw my chat. Where is Anthony? Did we miss Anthony's chat? Did I just? No, my apologies. I probably was looking for blue, so my apologies there, Anthony. He says one wide receiver, 1 running back, 1 flex. I have Njoku. Njoku. I have Laporta, QJ, JSN, Gibson, Myers, Chandler, Keaton, Mitchell in desperation mode because of injuries. If you're in desperation mode, I like Chandler as the running back. Chandler versus Gibson is actually relatively close.
I think Myers is the wide receiver here.
I like JSN more.
I like Myers more, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, Chargers suck on defense, man. Defending wide receivers.
You could just say suck.
Brutal.
You could just say they suck.
I actually think the Raiders could kick the shit out of them tonight, to be honest.
I could see it too.
This is the Brandon Staley gets fired game, if I'm being 100% honest here.
With that being said, do you agree on Njoku being the flex? Flacco's playing good ball, man.
Probably.
Fuck. That's where we are. Okay, fair enough.
Keaton Mitchell will be the next closest guy, probably.
Yeah, I would say so.
Maybe JSN. I don't know.
Zamir, McKinnon, Chandler, Odell, Downs. Pick 1 running back and 2 flexes. My running backs personally would be McKinnon and Chandler, assuming this is a full PPR.
Oh, it's up scans. Zamir, McKinnon, Chandler, Odell, Downs. Pick 1 running back, 2 flex. Okay.
You're not going Zamir over McKinnon in a PPR, are you?
Yeah,
I will have to bet you on that. Okay,
100%.
McKinnon all day.
I'm going Zamir over McKinnon.
McKinnon all day. Let's write it in.
Yeah, and I'm going Downs and Odell probably. No, Chandler and Odell. Actually, I mean, you could sit McKinnon and Zamir all together and go Chandler as the running back, Odell and Downs as the flexes, honestly.
I think I like McKinnon over Downs. I haven't liked Downs' usage these last couple of weeks, to be honest.
Yeah, it hasn't been great. So I personally would go, give me the guaranteed touches. Chandler, Zamir, and Odell is probably what I would roll with. But Downs is explosive, so he makes me nervous. I feel like you skipped a bunch of questions here, by the way.
No, this is super.
I know, but I'm looking at. Did you got Brady's and Tongs?
Yeah, we went through everything.
Okay, sorry.
Bro.
I guess I wasn't here for that. But Amari Cooper and Drake London would be my answers to those 2 questions.
Yeah.
In case anyone's curious.
Yeah, no, I'm going McKinnon over Zamir. You wrote down the bets, right?
No, I did not. I thought you did.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Let me go back to the top of the order. Juan says OBJ or Palmer. Which one should I stash? OBJ. Palmer's bad, and he's got Easton Stick as his quarterback.
I'm going OBJ, but yeah, no, I don't think Palmer is bad.
Need a streaming option for quarterback this week. You and everybody else, by the sounds of it. Zappy, Carr, Levis, Ritter, Zach Wilson. Oof.
Levis?
Is Desmond Ritter the answer here?
Levis?
The problem with Levis is that inside the 10-yard line, it's Derrick Henry's ball.
It's the king, yeah.
That's the problem with Levis is that he doesn't have a high ceiling because
he doesn't throw for touchdowns.
They're never going to trust him in the red zone when you have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean,
like at least with Ritter, he can run touchdowns in himself.
I'm going Levis, bro. I don't want to watch Desmond Ritter on my screen.
I have Ritter the highest of this group.
Yeah, I mean, it's 21 versus 24.
Actually disgusting. I have Ritter at 21.
Is Joe Flacco available? I would start Joe
Cards, yeah,
Flacco over
I would
both.
prefer Flacco, Minshew, and Browning to all of these options.
Yes. I would go Baker as well, assuming he's available. Like,
Yeah,
there's a
Goff if
lot
he's
of
available too.
yeah. Goff might be a little unattainable, but
I
like
mean, he's
even
been
like
shit for the last couple weeks, so he might be dropped by somebody. Anyways,
fair.
Raiders defense or Atlanta's defense.
Raiders.
I think I'll take the Raiders defense tonight against Easton Stick. Again, back to the point we just made. Who do I trust more to fuck up? It's Easton Stick versus Bryce Young, even though Bryce Young has been gold for fantasy defenses this year.
Yeah.
Is Achane reliable at all? I wouldn't say so, dude. A turf toe for the last 2 days in practice. I would not be excited to start Achane this week. Should I flex him or Mike Evans or David Montgomery? I would play Mike
go with the other
Evans,
two.
probably.
Yeah, you're chilling, bro. What?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in way worse situations than you, Franklin. Let's just put it that way.
Real quick though, the guy I'm playing against in my home leagues in the first round of the playoffs actually has Devon Achane, so so looking a little
so
sussy.
here, you want to hear some shit? I was supposed to play D Bell this week, and he has Achane, and he has who else does he have? Somebody else that's injured right now too. I don't remember who it is, but he has 2 guys that are injured, and I'm not playing him this week. Nico, yes. Nico and Achane are the 2 guys that he has, and I'm not playing him this week because DeAndre Hopkins went berserk. DeAndre Hopkins outscored Tyreek and Tua stack on Monday Night Football.
So that guy passed you in points.
Sorry, no, he didn't pass me in points. It pushed the 3 seed. Sorry, yeah, it pushed the 3 seed down so that I'm the 3 seed. So I have to play the 6 seed.
Wait, so he the 3 seed lost. So
yeah, the 3 seed lost. So now I'm the 3 seed, and I was the 4 seed before. And me and D Bell were going to play each other, and I had the easier side of the bracket against Amir, who's in first, but his team is worse in my opinion than the teams in second.
Who's the second place?
Zach. He has the Tua, Tyreek, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua.
That's a little scary. Yeah, that's a little scary there. Yeah, it's
actually he has Mixon on that team too. Like his team's good.
It's actually funny you mentioned that because Rob is in first place. And in my opinion, he has the easier side of the bracket because on the other side of the bracket, it's me. It's Paul, who me and Paul always get into like big time battles with in the playoffs. Like the year I had like the CMC, Lamar, everything, like one of the best teams we've ever drafted, period. I won the championship that year, but he was actually the closest to knocking me off. I beat him by 0.12 in the semifinal because the Eagles defense got a scoop and score against Washington back in the day. So I play him this week, first round. Obviously, I have the Bills-Cowboys game stat pretty much. And then the winner of this actually has to play Marco, and you obviously know Marco. So
yeah, also, what the fuck trade just went down in my Can't Wait League? Someone just sold Brian Robinson for Calvin Ridley in a third.
What? How'd they get plus?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, this one will be an interesting one for me this week. And dude, in my home league, like Cal's team is good. And I feel bad too, because last year the dude went 7-7, most ridiculously built team I've ever seen. I have no idea how this guy lost 7 games. No idea. No, you wouldn't have, Dylan.
I love it.
But I got to play him this week, and his team is pretty good. Like, I mean, he has Purdy as his quarterback, Kamara, Aaron Jones as his top running backs. He has Chase and Diggs as his top 2 receivers. And then he has Njoku, Rashee Rice, and Terry McLaurin in his flex spots right now. So his team's pretty decent. Yeah, I feel like I also, he has Kamara, and I beat him in the finals in 2020 with the Kamara 6 touchdown game. So I feel like I got a Kamara haymaker coming on my head top right now because
revenge.
It's revenge for the fact that I dusted him on Christmas Day a couple years ago.
Fair play. Let's yeah,
we're gonna hammer these out here. Yo, what's going on, Spicy Hot?
Spicy?
Atlanta, Cleveland, Green Bay defenses. Which 2 should I keep for the playoffs? So I broke down the defenses with good matchups, and Cleveland was right at the top of the list because they're a great defense, real life, and they have great matchups. So in my opinion, you don't even need 2 defenses. Just keep the Browns and roll with them every single week.
Yeah, I agree.
Dub Kai says pick 1 full PPR, but if you had to keep another, I would keep Green Bay. Pick 1 full PPR: Zay Jones, Elijah Moore, and Josh Palmer. This is Zay Jones, probably, right? You got 22 targets over the last 2 games for Zay Jones. Elijah Moore's decent. I mean, with Joe Flacco, he's been okay. Josh Palmer, decent, but he has Easton Stick as his quarterback. I like Zay Jones the most out of this group.
I have Palmer a couple spots higher, but
that's going to be a sick game, by the way. If you guys are, we're going to be live during that game. because we're going to be at the Bills game from 4:25 until, Sunday Night Football or whatever. And then we're going to be going live, 8, 9 Eastern on Sunday night, doing playoff best ball drafts, talking, commiserating potentially if you lost your fantasy matchup or celebrating if you won it. But
Yeah.
Baltimore and Jacksonville will be playing on that Sunday night game. So that'll be an
Yeah.
interesting game for us to kind of like live watch together or whatever too.
Let's go. And I mean, who knows? We get the right things rolling this Sunday. Have a couple teams advance into the semifinal for best ball. That could be pretty intense if we get to the final and me or yourself has at least a team advancing. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, mathematically speaking, you're likely to have a team about every 5 years or so. If you max enter the tournament every year. But surprisingly, dude, like I almost broke even on the contest because I had 9 teams inside the top 10,000.
Yeah, what's crazy is so the base advance rate is what like 18.7% or 16.7%, whatever it is.
16.6.
16.6. So like you went way above average too. And I think I had a 22% advance rate. So the FSC boys are just advancing teams out here in the fucking best ball streets, eh?
Yeah, I mean, if you know how to build your teams properly and you have decent player takes, I don't think it's difficult to advance above expectation. To be honest, like I don't know anybody that was like that knows ball to even a minor extent and didn't have an above average advance rate because they're also not stupid in taking 4 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends. You know what I mean?
They understand strategy at least.
And we have decent enough takes that 30, 40 of your teams are going to be solid.
For sure. We got one from Jonathan. Appreciate that. Zamir, London, Deontay, Zay Jones start too. I mean, I'm starting London for sure. And then Deontay Johnson, assuming he plays, is going to be your second one.
I don't think he's going to, dude.
If he doesn't, then you go Zay. I'm not going Zamir over Zay. Let me look at the
most recent news on him because I saw Jesse Morris tweet out something today that he was downgraded in practice and that he like doesn't think he's going to play or whatever. So I need to take a look on Deontay Johnson one last time.
Yeah. Last time I saw, he was good. Like he got ruled in. So maybe
I'm taking a look right now.
Oh, I checked before the gym and it said he was okay.
4 hours ago, Deontay Johnson, Wednesday, new knee injury, did not practice. Thursday, off injury report, no concerns. Okay, never mind. Maybe he is going to be good to go. So yeah, Deontay and London are the guys that you're rolling with there.
Need a wide receiver 3 and a flex. By the way, gross with the helmet. I've seen Luke in here before. I'm just gotta bust your ass. Reed, London, CH, Zamir, Keaton, Warren, Charbs. Do you need a wide receiver and a 3 and a flex? I'm going with the first 2 wide receivers here.
Yeah, I mean, the next closest guy is probably Jalen Warren, but I think Reed and London are the guys that I'm going with there as well. Agreed. He also needs to drop one player. He said, I would probably drop CH,
Zamir.
To be honest.
Zamir.
Yeah, Zamir. I mean, if you're not going to use Zamir tonight, you can just drop him and no one else can use him. So not a big deal. Jacobs isn't going to miss multiple games. He's too tough for that shit.
Yeah.
If I had to make a toughness rankings in the NFL, I think Jacobs might legit.
He's a tone setter. He's a tone setter, bro. He is a
tone setter. I mean, I'm surprised he's missing the game altogether, to be honest.
Yeah. Facts. But by the way, to be fair, did you hear he hurt his knee early in the game? Kept fucking playing, kept fighting through it. And
he literally separated his shoulder like 3 times in 2021 and played through all of them.
Yeah, guy is a beast. My only running backs are Hall, Achane, Roshan, Jacobs out. Should I start one of the Raiders running backs on RB2 tonight or hope Achane is all right? Just hope Achane is all right.
Yeah, like you can't be like, oh, I'm going to start Zamir White just in case. Like, I would just
pick up Jeff Wilson if you have to.
Wire before I fucking sit Achane if he was going to be healthy.
Is Jeff Wilson available on your wire? I'm assuming he's probably going to be widely available in a lot of leagues. Like worst case scenario, Achane gets ruled out. Just pivot to frickin' Jeff Wilson, and you're fine.
Yeah, that's my Jeff Wilson. Is my Jeff Wilson
Sneaky.
Triple stack team alive? My team is alive. Did I tell you about this?
Yeah. Which one?
I have an Achane Mostert Jeff Wilson team, which nobody else has. Because I looked it up. Like it's like 4% of people have it or something like that. On the best ball DB or whatever. And that Jeff Wilson share could be alive. And that would be pretty crazy if like
how much Jeff
contest was fucking 3 Dolphins running backs.
All right, this is disgusting. How much Jeff Wilson you have?
A decent amount. More than you think.
Yeah. How much you have?
I have 5 teams. 12.8% of my teams.
More than
5
me.
teams of Jeff Wilson.
I have 3 and I thought I had a lot.
Yeah, 5 I have.
Yeah, fair play. I somehow advanced to Jefferson. Did you advance to Jefferson?
I did not. I got no 101s this year. Remember?
Fair. Yeah, I
None.
advanced one
I had like
Jefferson team.
4% Jefferson because I couldn't pull a 101 to save my life.
Dude, how impressive it is to actually like advance a Jefferson team. Like looking back, considering he was the 101,
Someone finished
fucking did nothing
top
all year.
60 with a Jefferson team.
No shot. That's
Yeah.
insane.
And it wasn't even that nutted, too. You'd think, oh, he must have had like Kyron and Puka. Didn't have either of them.
Jesus. A lot of okay options. Need 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, and a flex. Half PPR. Hubbard, Mitchell, Hunt, Charbonnet, Noah Brown, Josh Downs, Calvin Ridley, Brandon Cooks. The running backs, I mean, first of all, Chuba Hubbard's a lock.
One of them.
Easily. You probably go Keaton Mitchell as the second here, right? Given the implied total of the Ravens.
And then wide receiver is Ridley, and then the flex is probably Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. Yeah. I agree with you.
14 Brees Hall teams I advanced. 14.
Really, eh?
Yeah, 35.9%.
I only got 14.3% in, you fucking bastard.
I got a lot of Brees in, dude. And I was thinking, I'm like, oh, everybody's got Brees teams in, right? Like, Brees was a great pick this year. Not really. Like, he
wasn't that good of a pick.
He was a decent pick this year, but given the guys that went around him, I think that's part of why he's not a high advance rate player, because of the quarterbacks that went around him, because of Deebo Samuel, who's, really skyrocketed. Travis Etienne obviously went around him as well.
How much Pollard do you have?
I was excited about getting that many advanced Brees teams.
Well, I wanted to point to that. How much Pollard do you have? Because he was a guy that people viewed
5 Pollard shares.
Like, oh, I thought you said 5%. So what is that, like?
12.8%. It's easier because like we have different amount of teams that we advance to just say how many I advanced.
Fair. Well, that's what I mean. So that's the reason why I say that is people viewed Pollard as this big bust all year. When you actually look at the second round picks, who actually smashed in that round? Like 2 guys, 3.
Like
Jalen Waddle.
Yes, AJ Brown was a first rounder probably.
Jalen Waddle went in that range. Garrett Wilson went in that range. Like, there's a lot of guys.
Yeah, I advanced a shit ton of Wilson too, actually.
Really? Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I got not a shit ton. I got 5 Wilson teams in.
Cody, if you have a question, feel free to leave it. I'll skip you down. Oh, he says, boys, Raiders D or Rams D this week? I
want Raiders D. I actually
Rams against
like
Washington.
Probably gonna suck, and Sam Howell can put up points, so I'm a little bit less scared of Easton Stick.
I mean, I guess you can say, well, Sam Howell is also more prone to turning the ball over, but at the same time, it's like we don't know if Easton.
We don't know anything about Easton Stick
because
so.
I mean, it's an Easton Stick, right? Like it's not.
Yeah,
it's not Bauer.
He's Easton Mako is what he is right there.
It's not even a Bauer, bro. It's an Easton Stick.
Yeah, exactly. Dusty. Make baseball equipment. IDub says, how much does 4 point per 6 versus 6 point per passing touchdown affect your quarterback strategy in Superflex Dynasty leagues? This is a pretty nuanced question, but I would say generally speaking, it doesn't affect it too much. It would just kind of tier break
micro differences,
micro differences between Justin Fields, for example, and Bryce Young or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it would just be like, oh, rushing quarterback, give him the edge in a 4 point per passing touchdown. 6 point, maybe you give the passing quarterback the edge.
For sure. Got one from Christian. He says Raiders or Saints D this week. I would go with the Raiders.
I have the Saints D higher. I think the Saints D is slightly better play.
Fair enough. I mean,
the Saints are at home against the Giants this week. So I mean,
didn't we literally go over this? And you said you trust Tommy DeVito more than you trust Easton Stick?
No, I said that about. I think it was Bryce was the other person in Tommy DeVito versus maybe it was.
Maybe I remember you said Tommy DeVito because I remember you said that because then I said fun fact: Tommy DeVito has more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett.
Okay, well, if I said that before, Saints defense is the one that I prefer because the Saints defense, are better in real life. They are also at home, which they have a good advantage at. And Tommy DeVito, while he's been solid recently, I think the Saints are a good enough defense. They can, force some turnovers and that kind of thing. Plus, they generally keep games a little bit lower scoring too. And that game has a 37 point over under or something like that.
Fair play. Yeah, I mean, you pay attention to the defenses more than
I got the matchups that matter sheet done today, so I know my by the way, that video usually is live on Thursdays, but it will be live tomorrow morning instead because I put out the playoff rest of season rankings tier list the last 2 days and I didn't get around to getting this one out, but it will be up 10-11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Bryce or Easton, gross. Give me Bryce Young. Also full PPR flex 3.
He supered that.
Oh, he did. Yes, he did. You are correct. If Puka finishes the season strong and breaks the rookie receiving record, where would you guys have him in Dynasty? If he breaks the rookie receiving record, he's probably a top 6 Dynasty wide receiver.
That's what I mean, like tier 2 guy. Like I think right now, like I
He
mean,
would be
assume
along Olave and
yeah.
Wilson, like just behind Olave and Wilson probably is right where he would be.
If he breaks a record, I think you make the case to rank him over Olave. I think that's close.
Yeah, no, it's close for sure. I still think that Olave universally, if we simulated 10 NFL seasons, would come out on top versus Puka Nacua most of the
Fair.
time. And I still think that's true of even Drake London, to be honest. But given the production that Puka has shown so far, like I'm feeling a little bit queasy about ranking Drake London over him now. But if he continues to do this and breaks the receiving record, which he very well could, because the Rams have a really easy schedule down the stretch, and I'm sad about that. And I'm hoping all these Rams teams get bounced because I'm advancing one Stafford team, 0 Cup teams, 0 Puka teams, 0 Kyron teams, because I didn't have any one share of Puka Nacua or Kyron Williams. So kind of impressive, honestly, that I had a 26% advance rate with no Puka and no Kyron, not drafted one time.
Yeah. Ravens or stream Raiders for / Falcons. I mean, I don't want to drop the Ravens defense if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they also play the Niners in the fantasy playoffs.
They have a brutal schedule down the stretch. They play the Niners and the Dolphins the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's fucking tough, man.
Yeah.
Who do you drop
I mean,
them for,
I'm cool playing the Ravens defense this week and then streaming a defense in week 16 and week 17.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's probably how I'd play it as well.
Are any more supers, or are we good to go back to the top here?
We're all caught up, but I mean, it's 8:12, so we'll probably rip a couple more questions and then probably.
Yeah, I do want to make sure my lineups are all set because, I mean, we ain't fucking around this time of year. Ed says in the first round of the playoffs, full PPR, pick one flex, Montgomery, Devontae Smith, and one QB2. Okay, so first round of the playoffs, you're playing Tua over Browning for sure, and then Montgomery.
Real quick, Brandon, like, did we skip a super or we're going in order?
We didn't skip a regular question, that's for sure.
Okay, yeah, go up top then. Yeah, we didn't skip anything then.
Yeah, we're going. So we do supers and then we go back to the top. We're only at 7:26 p.m. unfortunately. So if you asked your question, it wasn't a super after that time period, then we have not gotten to it yet. And honestly, we probably will not, unfortunately. But Montgomery or Devontae Smith was the other part of this question, and I would roll with Devontae Smith, especially in full PPR. For those of you guys that are just like, I'll give you some, overall answers for specifically tonight's game. I have Zamir White at RB28. I would only start him over the likes of like Keaton Mitchell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Najee Harris, Devin Singletary types. If you have Chuba Hubbard or Zeke or James Cook or James Conner or whatever, don't start Zamir White over those options.
Where do you have him ranked?
I have him at 28.
Oh man, we're gonna have to do a bet on him. Yeah, I have him way lower. Where do I have him?
He's gonna get 15 to 20 touches, dude. I know he sucks, but he has a chance to score a touchdown and have 15 to 20 carries.
I honestly think it's going to be a 50-50 with him and Abdullah, to be honest.
I don't know. I think the game script is going to be very much in the Raiders' favor, and that favors Zamir White.
I don't know. So you're going with him over I mean, you already said Jarek, but like Jalen Warren? Are you going him or Jalen Warren?
I have Jalen Warren ahead of him.
Gibson? You got to take Gibson over him, man.
See, okay, so a cop-out answer. I haven't actually ranked Gibson ahead of him right now because Brian Robinson is not guaranteed to be out yet. I would say if I knew that Brian Robinson was playing or Gibson was the starter, I would play both of them over Zamir White. But right now, I can't, we don't have that information. So as of now, I would probably play Zamir White.
Yeah, so I'm adjusting Zamir. For what it's worth, I actually have Abdullah higher personally in PPR.
That's egregious in my opinion. Like, dude, Zamir White versus all these other guys, like Keaton Mitchell has 11 touches a game the last 2 weeks. Like, these are not guys that get a lot.
We'll have more yards.
Zamir White has a chance to carry the ball 20 times.
He could, but I mean, do we really think even on 20 touches, the fact
goal
that
line work and 20 touches against a horrid run defense, that's good enough to make you a top 30 running back, in my opinion. I don't care who you are. He has fresh legs too. He's got speed. Maybe he can break off a long one.
Give me Abdullah.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not excited. I don't want to die in the Zamir White hill. He's one of the worst running back prospects I've ever scouted. But he's awful.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, even if he gets 20 touches,
he's got a goal line role. He's got a chance to carry the ball fit. What do we say about running backs all the fucking time? Doesn't matter who you are. If you get the ball 20 times, you're going to be an RB2 in fantasy.
Sure, but if Jacobs was relatively inefficient this year, can you guarantee me on 20 touches that Zamir White's going to get over 55 yards from scrimmage?
No, I can't, but he could
So,
score.
He could. I mean, yeah.
I mean, specifically in my league as well, we also get bonuses for first downs, and I think he'll have some 3rd and 1s and shit like that.
I would go Deontay Foreman over him.
I think that's fair. I wouldn't, but I think that's fair.
Fair.
Deontay Foreman is in a 3-way timeshare, and honestly, 15
gets the valuable
15
touches.
Opportunities is his absolute ceiling on any given week, given the 2 other running backs in that backfield.
Goal line work, early down work. It's basically the same argument, only like we're assuming Zamir White's going to be the number 1 there, whereas we know.
I also think there's an outside shot that Zamir is like a 70% snap share guy. Like, I don't think
I think Amir Abdullah is going to get 40+% of the snaps.
I don't. I don't.
He's
I think the only way that would happen is if the Chargers were winning the game handedly, and I don't like with Easton Stick at quarterback. Like,
I mean, we have tonight to find out, but I don't know, man. We just have a disconnect on Zamir. Don't
trust me. I don't like defending Zamir White. Anyways, XOL Gaming here says, wait, did we get to JT's question? Oh yeah,
we got him.
Sorry, we got to that one? Okay.
Yeah.
Bears or Colts defense, Warren, Chandler, Rice, flex. So Rashee Rice is very easily the flex option for me there. He has like a 29% target share in 3 straight games. Bears or Colts defense.
Bears against
Colts
the Browns, Colts against the Steelers.
And then the Bears against the Saints, I think. No, sorry, the Browns.
Yeah. So the Bears are on the road. The Colts. Where's that one?
Colts are definitely the Colts. They're at home, and they've also been like sneakily a top 6 fantasy defense this year. So I take the Colts defense there. They have some playmakers.
Fair.
Uncage the Lions. Yeah. Last question, and we will set our lineups here.
Perfect.
Set my playoff lineup: 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. Rashad White, Breece Hall. Those are your running backs. JJ Cup. Those are your wide receivers. Puka Nacua, Olave, Waddle,
flex.
Garrett Wilson.
Puka
and Olave are your wide receivers. But Wilson has been better, and he'd be pretty close. But the weather is a little concerning there in Miami.
Same page. Either way, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. 50 of you still, or 54 of you still left in here. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like down below, especially if we answered your question. And good luck in your fantasy matchups, guys. This is win or go home. This is all the stakes. You got to make it to the fantasy championship. You got to go and ultimately win that thing. But it always starts in the first round. If you don't win in the first round, you're not going to have a chance to win the dance.
Yeah, absolutely. And good relaxing times for those of you guys that maybe secured a bye week this week. You just get to sit back, watch some ball, maybe track your best ball teams if you did some of those. But regardless, again, peace out. Good luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.